Thanks, Freak. And I must say, I'm glad that we're going to a Game 4. I'm excited to see some more action between these two teams as LMQ really stepped it up that game.
Yeah, they really did. And No Name was a big highlight there for me. I was watching him very closely on that Kha'Zix. He was forcing plays, and he wasn't getting punished for it because he had really good positioning on that assassin, and he made it work out playing around the exhaust, too, because they kept throwing him on Xiao, but he did a ton of damage himself, too.
Yeah, I think a big thing also was Xiao got a comfort champion. We've seen him on Yasuo for such a long time. It's a big farmer, and it's a big assassin, and a big playmaker. So I was happy he kind of went back to his roots a bit with that, and they kind of went far with it.
Yeah, and they blew so much on him because it was that comfort champion that he had so much impact on. So he's a huge factor.
I think we're going to have to put a lot of focus onto that mid lane in terms of champion select going into the next game, as we've seen Yasuo as a pretty contested pick. Are there any predictions kind of right off the bat for next game?
It's swapping sides, and I can't predict the picks and bans of Curse very well.
Do you think, though, that because LMQ can't guarantee the Yasuo pick for Xiao, that they might just decide to throw a ban at it to keep Voyboy off of his comfort champion?
I'm not predicting anything. Because I'm just wrong about everything. So
Collie.
Yeah,
I've got
Swain.
So
I've got scared analysts on the desk.
I'm going to go with someone will win next game.
Okay.
There will be a victory screen somewhere.
It's a bold move, Cotton.
Let's talk about momentum a little bit, just as a general aspect of best of 5 series. Curse had all of the momentum. 2-0. It was looking like they could have gone a 3-0 clean sweep. First blood. We got to point that out. Voyboy didn't give up first blood, and they lose.
That's why they lost.
Yeah, especially when you're playing like Yasuo, like he was giving up first blood on Yasuo. That's a free win. The second you die on Yasuo, the other team should just forfeit immediately or be forced to forfeit. You shouldn't even get an option. But the big thing is, yeah, Curse had this momentum, and it actually hurts way more to get it stopped than it is to just be like losing slowly. The fact that you're like get this big momentum build and then boom, someone just stops it, it hurts really badly.
There does have to be a little bit of comfort in knowing that you still only have to win one of the next 2, correct?
Kinda. I mean, this is actually when we played Coast and Relegation. We were up 2-0 and then we lost the 3rd game, and that 4th game we played was miserable. It was so hard to play. Although we were up a game and it was like, oh yeah, we just have 1 game left. Everyone was half demoralized. We were just like, we just lost that game. Oh my god. So that just like killed us. And I mean, obviously every team is a little bit different, so it might not affect them in the same way. But if Curse drops this game too, I'll be pretty excited to see a Game 5.
I want to look at one of the replays in the game that I feel was kind of the big momentum shift, the catalyst for the momentum swinging back into LMQ's favor. 20 minutes in, fight around the Dragon Pit. Zareen, I know you want to take this one.
All right, so Voyboy's positioning on this is absolutely abysmal, and Dominate goes for a hero steal here, flashing into the pit, but then he can't flash out. So start rolling the clip out, and Voyboy has 100% kill participation. He has the most gold on the team. He comes into it, he gets exhausted, he can't blow him up, and No Name comes in. He has evolved Q at this point in the game. That is his 2nd evolution after Wings. He doesn't go for the W, and he isolates him and picks him off, and they killed him without the help of a Xiao ultimate, which they ended up saving for that middle of the pack fight there. And then they ended up just going 4 for 1 off of it. I think the targeting of Voyboy and the fact he got isolated himself was a big misplay on him.
I think that was one of those moments of realization when you know you're a little bit ahead. You're like, we shouldn't give up this objective, but then you force yourself into a bad engagement because you didn't have the positioning to contest it.
Yeah, and Dominate flashes in and then he dips, but then that leaves Voyboy by himself.
I think it was almost a greedy play.
Yes.
It's like at the point, like Quas was TPing in, but it wasn't close enough to immediately fight. So right when they saw the Quas TP and the second they saw Dragon's HP going down so fast, they needed to adapt. Instead of taking Dragon and fighting, they need to go, let's just fight him after Dragon. They're in the pit already, so you know where they have to exit. So I think if they just played it a slightly more slow, they kind of would have realized what they needed to do.
Yeah, and Voyboy would have had more time to reposition himself and go around as opposed to through the back.
Yeah.
I found it very interesting that today we've actually seen Zed open to both players as opposed to yesterday where he's been out of the picture. Is that a comment on these teams' comfortability playing against it, saying, actually, we're not that scared about it. As long as we bring exhaust, he's not as threatening?
I think it's mostly the players. Kind of like Zed and Bjergsen, when they play it, it's guaranteed they'll win lane. They're not going to die. And then second of all, they know what to do mid-game with it. So the second you're like, oh, like we can just group and fight. Oh, the Zed's in the side lane taking a turret right now. That's kind of how Bjergsen and High will be playing it. This was slightly different. We saw like Voyboy camping in a bush when he had like a lead and stuff like that. So they kind of play it, I feel like, less efficiently than Bjergsen and High, and that's why those champions need to be banned versus that team.
All right. One final question I have to ask. Do you guys believe that we're going to be going to a Game 5?
Oh, for my sake, because I need to beat Prolly. So I hope it's going to a Game 5.
Well, I mean, can Curse break Destiny? Can you beat Destiny?
4th place.
The forever 4th curse.
Yeah.
We will have to find out, but we've got to take a quick break, and then we'll see if LMQ can keep the momentum on their side as they prepare for Game 4. Stay with us.
But he dies 1-for-0. Nice knockup by Lauren. In comes everybody. 3 kills picked up so far. This is a great fight for LMQ. Look at that. Baron buff on the engage comes in. This could be bad for Curse. Giant knockup, special force run away. He will die to the Coing. And now it's Quas. The front line's going down. 2 kills so far for LMQ. They're going to make that 3 with the special. Ackerman taking on the front side. I will dominate is going to fall. This could be the game. No Name wants in.